Heidi-ho, Truckin' Patriots. Welcome to the only show giving you the voice. The Truth in Broadcasting Network proudly hosting the first ever annual United States of Trucking debate, a closely held competition for the presidency of the United States of Trucking. Watch intently as we give both candidates room to flex their muscles. Tell us in the comments below what you think about today's debate. At this election in 2024, we will tally up the report on your votes, and one candidate will emerge victorious. Who will it be? Leave us a like, because remember, likes are the thing to help you find us here again. Welcoming you guys to the first ever presidential debate for the United States of Trucking. In a world where our industry fuels the heart of America, we stand at the crossroads of innovation and tradition. This debate isn't just about choosing a leader. It's about securing the future of trucking and preserving the spirit that has driven us for generations. Our first candidate, representing the Cab-Over Party, seasoned veteran with over 23 years, knows the roads like the back of his hand. With old-fashioned know-how and a relentless commitment to old-school ways, he's here to ensure that the respect you earned is restored loud and proud, and his rants will make you believe it. The Grumpy Old Trucker. Second candidate, showing up for the Mactastic Party, a forward thinker, an innovator, and mostly brings fresh ideas and a vision to making our industry fun while staying true to our roots. A man with the sense that you don't have to be crazy to be in trucking, but it sure helps. And his videos will prove just that. Welcome, King John. Tonight's debate is geared like an old freight shaker. Hard to shift, but never dependable. Its main focus is to arrive at the crossroads. Old school or new rule. So here's how it's going to go. Each candidate will be given an open statement with no rebuttal. 2 minutes, so make it good. Who wants to listen to two blowhards blow on for hours and hours, Joe? Oh, moving on. After which we will take questions on specifically selected, prepared list of questions written by the best moderator in television history. Come on, let's hear it. For me, the El Rushbo machine. You know him. He's the one. And yeah, me. Get over it. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to respond. When you hear this sound, it's shut up, kid. You talk too much. If your hair talks louder than Joe Pesci, then I may allow you to talk back and rebut, but what would that turn into? A show of nothing but butts. Anyway, remember, folks, like Captain Spock, I have the con. So don't piss me off. Let's begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow truckers, imagine a world without trucks. No toys, no snacks, no clothes, and no awesome gadgets. That's the reason the truck drivers like myself are super important. My name is Grumpy. I'm a proud trucker. Today I'm here to tell you why the trucking industry needs someone like me as president of the trucking industry. Someone as grumpy as myself will make sense. First off, did you know that almost every day, everything has been on a truck and trucks deliver it all? Now let's talk about the people behind the wheel. Truck drivers, the sometimes unseen superheroes of the road. We drive long hours through all types of weather to make sure stores have what you need. And guess what? These fancy new ways just aren't cutting it, folks. We also have to be really good at problem solving. Imagine having a flat tire in the middle of nowhere. Grumpy would like to point out there are no special gadgets. That shouldn't have broken to start with. As president of Truckin, I will make trucking great again by flogging the first driver that ignores pre and post trips. No more breakdowns as president. Thank you very much.
All right, now for an opening statement from King John of the Mactastic Party. Let's have it, John.
Hello, my fellow Americans. You know what? In trucking, there are a lot of issues. And some people, with my white beard and my belly full of jelly, they think I'm Santa Claus. Well, as president, I kind of will be Santa Claus because I want to get rid of a lot of the hours of service that we struggle with every day. I'm not saying get rid of them altogether. I'm saying, how about a new inventive way of looking at them where we can actually take a nap when we need one? Or we can arrange our clock around a schedule that fits our load. I mean, come on, guys. Every trucker out there knows what I'm talking about. And if you're not in trucking, you should vote for me because all the things that you get that come on a truck will get there quicker, more efficiently, and safer with less accidents because I'm in charge. Now, y'all might know me as the king of shorts, but I'm also running for president of this trucking of the United States. So I would ask you to vote for me for one very important reason. I'm not just an old-fashioned trucker. I'm a new trucker that with innovative thoughts that can bring us the old school trucking brotherhood into the new age and still be a brotherhood. We can also embrace the new technologies, but not let them overtake us. Make sure R&D is done to an acceptable level before it ever sees public view. Now, if you vote for me, you'll get all of this and much, much more. Just remember, comment down below. Driving with John, you vote for him. Thank you so much and enjoy the debate.
All right, and the debate shall begin with questions. Once again, audience, you make the call. Put down in the comments below who you're voting for after the last question. Each candidate will be given a question and given 2 minutes to respond. If they go over the 2 minutes, that sound will play, and I will bring out the hook. And believe me, I make one hell of a Captain Hook. So, King John, first question goes to you, my friend. As someone who's experienced the evolution of trucking regulations, what specific changes would you advocate to reduce the bureaucratic burden on truckers and keep those blowhards from talking too damn much?
Well, that's the question of the decade right there. I'll tell you what, the first thing they need to do is streamline everything. Stop with all the 15 different organizations all pushing things on trucking. Let's have the Department of Trucking, where that's where everything comes from, one source, and then go from there. Once you have one source, it's easier to work with, other than fighting, rather than fighting agencies from the EPA, the FMCSA, and all the other ones that want to have their hands in trucking. Just go to one source. And also, just remember, truckers are people too.
Amen to that, my friend. Good answer to the question of regulatory reform. Now on to candidate number 2, grumpy old trucker, is someone who's seen the ups and downs of both tech regulations and hours of service issues over the years. What specific changes would you make to cut through the red tape and keep those overzealous bureaucrats from squawking like a flock of buzzards every time we hit the road?
I say them keyboard jockeys and pencil pushers need to leave us drivers alone. That's exactly how I feel about it. Instead of doing that, they should talk to one of us that are out here every day and see what our opinions are and get our opinions as well. That's how I feel about it.
Job gets harder and harder. You guys are starting off strong.
Can I rebut that?
You certainly may.
Not that I disagree with what the grumpy meister over there just said, but you know what? If you really want the pencil pushers and the keyboard heroes to know how it feels, make them ride in a truck for a week. And I'm pretty sure that'll change it right there.
Amen to that. You got anything to add, Grumpy?
Well, since he suggested that, I'm going to say one thing. You're going to be the first one to let those guys ride with you for a week.
Definitely challenging. Definitely challenging. I like the looks of this. Debate's starting off strong. All right, number 3 question goes to you, Grumpy. With the ongoing driver shortage crisis, what long-term strategies would you push to attract and retain drivers in the industry? And what difference would it make? I mean, bureaucrats all think we need more drivers. How about close the borders? And would you make Mexico pay for it?
Would I make Mexico pay for it? Well, obviously that's never going to happen because the Mexican people down there, they don't want to pay for nothing up here, and they're not going to help. So no, that's not going to help. But I say what we need to do is we need to do a little bit better vetting on our drivers, as well as we need to make sure that they get proper training, because without the proper training, you're just another person behind the wheel, and you're an accident waiting to happen. So no, I strongly say that's not going to help anything.
Righty. Any rebut on that? King John, is it true that your vision for the United States of trucking is a bunch of ghosts driving in the country? Just months ago, you were spotted trying to pass off a video of what some believe is your great uncle moving into your truck on some lonesome highway at night. Can you confirm that it wasn't Jimmy Hoffa? And will you commit to better drug testing for new paranormal drivers?
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to judge anybody that comes into the industry. I don't care if you're male, female, alien, ghost. If you can pass the drug screen, you can get the training required to be behind the wheel of a truck, then you should have the right to be in a truck. But if you can't do those things, then no, you should not. And no, I don't think Jimmy Hoffa was involved at all, but there's a suspicion that Al Capone might have been involved. That's all I'm saying.
All right. We got to know if the man with the grumpy attitude has a rebuttal to all this. All right, Grumpy, I understand you want to rebut that answer. What do you got to add to it?
I do. I believe that the factor of driving with John, believing that was his uncle in his truck, may have something to do with magic toothpicks that were once upon a time a thing.
Hey, I got to ask you as a candidate, are you going to commit to bringing back magic toothpicks?
Well, I won't per se, but I'm not to say that someone else may not.
Might I say, the grumpy guy is accusing me, probably the cleanest guy you ever meet, of using toothpicks. Guys, I am 100%. I can't believe that the Grumpmeister over there, the old dude, that the one that was probably around when those magic toothpicks were a thing, is going to accuse me of such a thing. I would never, ever condone or be okay with that. Like I said, I want strict drug testing. You should not be on the road when you're operating vehicles under any substance. So maybe, just maybe, we should check the Grumpy's glove box. He might have a toothpick or two in there. Just saying.
And if we have toothpicks, come on now. Maybe they're candy. Maybe they aren't. Who's to say?
I have a prescription for those. Thank you very much. I'm diabetic.
Oh, candy. Oh,
okay. Yeah, we need to have an investigation about that. Make sure.
Next question is on to King John. Truckers are the backbone of America, and yet they often don't receive the respect they deserve. How do you plan to work and change public perception and ensure that truckers are people too? And what of this thing with honking in your video?
Well, I will tell you, That is my saying, as you can read right down. Where's that at? Right down over there somewhere. It says truckers are people too. Oh, you're referring to the driving with John is coming through? That's because I made a video that I really, it's a personal belief of mine. The whole, kids doing this and even adults doing this, it'll put a smile on every trucker's face and it'll make that trucker's day. So that's why I put it in my video, because that's what it symbolizes. But what would I do to change public perception? Well, I'm telling you right up front. First of all, we're not just these machines that are driving down the road that you need to be afraid of. You're going to see the truckers not only in the trucks, but also in public view on commercials, delivering things to your local store, because without us, you don't have what you need.
There you go. There you go. Good answer. Grumpy old man, how would you work to change public perception and ensure that truckers are given their fair share of, how would you say, acorns? And would you commit to providing more plastic bags in the effort to rid our truck stops of pee bottles and make truck stops great again?
Well, the urine bottles, as we'll call them, not a whole lot we can do about that, because there's a lot of drivers out there that does it and we don't appreciate it. There are plenty of trash cans for them, but at the same time, trash bags would be wonderful if they would use those as well and then place them in the trash receptacles. Now, my acorns might be the new toothpick. Just saying.
I smell a rebuttal.
So what I'm hearing here is he's going to flog a guy that doesn't do a pre-trip, but if they leave a pee bottle on a curb, then, that's fine. That's just the way it is. I see. Okay. See what kind of campaign he's running over there? Mm-hmm.
All right. We're getting somewhere, folks. The future of trucking relies on well-trained drivers. How would you revamp training programs to include new high-energy programs that promise to rid the country of all those who believe that we should unionize and make our national code in Punjabi?
Well, coming from a trucker that's been around for a while, I don't really like unions, and I don't see much of it come out for all of us out here. Some it works for, and it works well. Others, no. Especially if you're an independent operator, you could join what they have for us, which is OIDA and things like that. But myself, I'm not for unions of any kind.
All righty. Liking the answer. King John, what specific measures will you implement to ensure that our training programs produce the drivers that are able to read science and can focus on things like, let's say, better pit maneuvers? I mean, because we got to get her done, right? And would you commit to more signage in every language and color and give them a cheering section?
Can I say, heck no? No, I will not. I'm sorry. I believe in the regulation of this country is that it's in the native language of this country, which is English, American English. And so that's what they would have to know in order to drive. See, I don't think that we're just going to make trucking great again. I think we're going to build it back better than it ever was. So if you don't know what that means, then vote for me, and you'll see a higher side of trucking that you've never seen before, with no drugs included, unlike that other guy over there.
I want to rebut that question. What say you there, grumpy old feller?
So what you're trying to say is, if somebody that's a little dyslexic's not able to read our language, then what happens? They got a problem. Are they still considered professional and can drive a big truck?
Oh, now we've got.
Now, see, okay, I see where he's going with this one, and I'll tell you right up front, that means you don't understand what dyslexia means. You can read English. You just process it differently than others. So the stop sign still says stop. It doesn't say get the acorn out of your butt. It says stop.
Now we've got to make signs that not only say stop, but also say this question is to you, Big John, or King John. Long hours on the road can take a toll on our health. When does practical solutions enter into your campaign to keep our truckers fit and ready for the haul? And is it true that you want everyone over 50 to submit to a proctological exam because your opposition's manager made a slogan that said, and I quote, "Truckers are crap, but we got this"?
Well, I'll tell you right now, if that was any manager under me, he would definitely be fired and gone. I believe that the hours of service are one of the most important issues in this whole election. Okay. Like I said in my opening, that a way of rearranging our hours so that you still have the 10, the 14, and the 34s, but where you can take, I don't know, do it like a 5 and a 5 or a 4 and a 6 instead of so strict as staying a 8 and a 7, so that if you need a nap, you can take a nap. You never have to drive tired. Your dispatcher can't tell you have to drive when you shouldn't be driving, all of those things. And as for the exams that you're speaking of, I'm not big on those exams, and I do believe for health reasons that people should get those, but they're not going to be forced by any administration of mine. Now, the other guy probably needs that because he needs to get the acorns out of his. Just saying.
Solitary confinement is real hard on the psyche of the human spirit. What suggestions have you or your campaign come up with to assure the truckers of this country that they don't suffer from depression? And will you commit yourself to submitting to a cognitive test? I mean, your opposition feels that you're a little too old to lead our country.
Well, I'm not too old. I don't care what they say. I am definitely the perfect candidate for presidency, and that's why I'm running for it. But you know, what? The cog. Yeah, you know the thing.
We need a butt here.
Well, I never called for him to have a cognitive test like that, but after that question answer, I'm thinking it might be necessary. But in all seriousness, you know, you shouldn't be operating a heavy vehicle when you suffer from cognitive issues, let alone running the United States of trucking. I'm just saying. Maybe too many of those acorns. I don't know what the solution there is. Sorry, I have to consult an expert on that one.
Well,
I was going to say we're gonna have to consult a lot of experts after this debate, which was lively nonetheless. I have to add, you have your choice in front of you, voters. You can vote for King John, or you can vote for the grumpy old trucker. Either way, the future of trucking is in your. We have closing statements coming up here. Once again, a few minutes for them to seal the deal and tell you why it's important for you to make the right choice in the presidential debate of the United States of trucking. Well, there you have it, folks. Both candidates with their answers to the best questions tailored to help you pick a winner and not your nose. Leave comments down below and tell us which candidate you think will help build back trucking. Comment too if you want to follow up on any of these questions we covered here. We're going to let each of the candidates close this debate with a closing argument on why your vote counts. Let your voice be heard and make sure to follow each of these channels. They make candidates look funny. Grumpy Old Trucker and Driving with John. Serious individuals indeed. And of course, the complete coverage on the United States of Truckin' can be found right here on truckincitymedia.com. Your voice, your choice. Here in these United States of Truckin', remember, it's your truck that makes the deliveries, but it's you that make the difference. Vote right, stay tight, and by the way, keep her rolling. This has certainly been one lively debate. We have a lot to be thinking about, and in that, cast our vote. Let's get on to the closing statements. Grumpy old trucker, what have you got to say to make people think you are the best candidate for this United States of Trucking?
Well, I'll pull a fun fact out of my hat here. Some trucks are so big they can carry the weight of 20 elephants. That's a lot of weight, right? But we as professional drivers handle it with care because safety is our top priority. So as President of the United States of Trucking, driving with John will get every elephant in the room, and we will beef up all the trucks to keep him receiving every single elephant. So next time you see a truck on the road, give them a little room and the all famous arm pump and a wave gesture. And remember, we truckers are working also. The highways are our offices. So please, please remember to give us plenty of room to bring every elephant in the room to driving with John. Grumpy as president is 100% your answer to make trucking great again. Thank you.
And on to King John. Why should everyone vote for you as president of these United States of Trucking?
Well, I had a whole speech planned out that I was going to say right here, but honestly, all I got to do is just point out what the competitor said. Everything was about me. I mean, he's probably voting for me, so why shouldn't you? Get what I'm saying here? Unless you like whatnot shelves and cinnamon toasted acorns, otherwise vote for me, because that's where trucking will be the best.
There you have it, folks. Mean, lean, and green, right here from the fighting machine we call Truckin' City News. Vote your conscience. Vote the spirit to make trucking great again. And vote today. The future of our trucking industry depends on it. Be sure and stay tuned to all three channels, Truckin' City News, Driving with John, and the Grumpy Old Trucker. Election results will be posted and tallied up and spoken of on one of the frontline shows nearest the election. It is in your best interest to subscribe to not only my channel but theirs as well, because you don't want to miss who wins the presidency in 2024 of the United States of Trucking. Stay tuned. We'll be announcing the results soon.